One of the great things about Ma is all the references, some subtle, some not, to so many great horror films and psychological thrillers as well. Hello, I'm Sean Mazral, and welcome to the darkness. So let's get right into these references from Ma, and yes, this is a review that has plenty of spoilers. Obviously, this is an homage to Carrie. Ma is the older version of Carrie. She was absolutely tortured as a kid growing up, and therefore it has shaped her every being and her soul. She's the butt end of an awful joke that ends up really affecting her throughout her entire life, and there's no one there to stop the insanity. The peer pressure for kids that want to be involved in things and will not say no even though something is wrong, and they know it's wrong and they go along with it anyways. This is a very extreme theme and one that we see so often in real life. One of the big differences between Carrie and Ma is that Carrie gets her revenge right away as opposed to Ma, who takes a little bit longer to get into it. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Ma is basically the real-life version of Freddy Krueger. Freddy did horrible things to children and got off on a technicality, forcing the town to do a little vigilante justice. Well, Ma also does her own little vigilante justice, but wherein Freddy comes back through the nightmares and haunts you in your dreams and tries to kill you in those dreams, Ma does it in real life. She's picking apart all the family members that were involved in her awful prank. And really, what does Freddy do except that same very thing? And it does not go unnoticed that they both go out the same way, in a burst of flames. Annie Wilkes. They did the obvious reference when Ma came into her house and noticed that one of her little glass cats had moved on the table. I mean, quintessential misery. And Ma's antics are pretty much the exact same way that Annie deals with Paul. You got both Ben and Paul tied up in the bed. Annie Wilkes and Ma both use their medical backgrounds, one with the vet world, one with the nursing world, but they're sort of doing the same old thing, and they are going to torture these people regardless, no matter what they say. Can you think of another woman who really gets into Annie Wilkes' character like Ma does? I mean, Octavia Spencer is so good in this film, and she deserves all the credit that she's getting because she has nailed it. This scene in Ma between Ben and Ma in the bed is actually a great scene, but I wanted a little bit more because in essence, Ben is the person that made Ma who she is, right? She's Frankenstein's creature. Ben is Frankenstein in essence, and I wanted this to go a little bit deeper. I wanted it to last a little bit longer because this is Ma's everything. Again, a big kudos to Octavia Spencer for delivering a powerful, evil, depressing, sad, yet charismatic and relatable character. I don't know how you do all those things at once. Have you guys seen The Gift yet? If you haven't, you have to check that film out. It is starring and directed and written by Joel Edgerton. It is a masterpiece of a film. It's one of my favorites. And that film and Ma, they basically have the same overlying theme wherein these children have to deal with certain things that happen in their past and cut to the future and see how they deal with it. See what it has become to them. See what this incident has created inside them and their psyche and how they deal with it. The Gift is definitely a more psychological suspense thriller as opposed to Ma, which does come at the same themes, yet does it in a more horror style way and a little exaggerated in terms of crazy. The film also takes on To Kill a Mockingbird, right? Ma has a kid, Boo Radley. Who knew there was going to be a Boo Radley in this? The film had a lot of plot twists that I wasn't expecting because I was thinking this was going to be a very straightforward film. So it constantly kept me on my toes, and I really appreciated that because I wasn't expecting too much. I love how Ben came at her strategically, first at the vet clinic and then at the bar, and then popped the tracker down and was like, yo, what the dilly? I mean, that was great. And I mean, I loved Octavia's reaction to it and how she tried to finagle her way out of that. I mean, look at Ben from a different perspective. We know him as the guy who tortured this poor girl and was the ringleader in all of this craziness, right? What if we don't have that? Look at it from his perspective. Yes, he is a douchebag, do not get me wrong. But later on in life, he's lost his wife to cancer. He's running his own business. He's got a kid that he is trying desperately to protect. And I love that he does his best to protect his kid. He goes at Ma and says, look, don't let this happen again or we're going to have issues. Unfortunately, he didn't realize just how cray-cray Ma truly was because of him. At the end of the day, you don't mess with someone's kids. And Ben was not having it at all. He just underestimated Ma in a big, big way. But I can't help but be fascinated by both Ben's character and the relationship between Ben and Ma. I mean, Ma was so quick to pick up that phone and call him, and Ma was so quick to say, absolutely, I'll come to the bar with you. She still can't get away from that man. I think if Ben wanted to have a relationship with her in any way, Ma would totally be all for it. And that's the scary thing. The way that he has absolutely controlled her life from afar, and he could still string her like a puppet until Ma wants her revenge for sure. I actually thought the main protagonist, Maggie, was pretty great in this film. She's got that equal amount of innocence and pseudo-rebellion and the lack of being able to say no to peer pressure at times. Fortunately, she is able to say no to certain times, which I thought was really key in her development, and it really shows at the end of the film when she says she's not her mother and stabs Ma with a knife. I mean, it was really, really well done. Okay, let's look at a couple of things that I didn't quite understand or grasp fully, and maybe you guys can help me out. I love the twist of Ma having a kid. It's very Great Expectations, where the older woman is honing the girl to sort of keep men at bay, and that made sense to me. What I didn't quite grasp was why there's so much of the medicating the child, and what was Ma trying to accomplish? Is it something along the lines of The Sixth Sense and that subplot? I wasn't sure. Why didn't Ma want Maggie in that psychotic photograph at the end of the film? It seemed like more than anyone, except for maybe Ben's son, that Maggie definitely should have been in that photograph. Why is she the one taking the picture? Based on everything that Ma has done previously in the film, I would think Maggie needs to be in that picture. And lastly, just as a side note, why is Allison Janney the veterinarian in this movie? She is way too great of an actress to just have this little tiny role. I actually found myself saying, oh man, there must be something that's really going to happen with this character, because why else would Allison Janney be in this? Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. What did you guys think of Ma? I love that it's getting this mixed bag of reviews. It's getting a lot of criticism and it's getting a lot of love all simultaneously. And isn't that what a great film does? Personally, I think this was a really, really fun ride, and it was one that I had low expectations for, but it turned out great. I really enjoyed it, and therefore, I'm a happy camper. So please let me know in the comments below what you thought of Ma, and we'll see you soon.